The phone rang precisely at 3 in the morning. Liam Everett woke up with a start, his heart racing. His instinct told him something was wrong. He looked at the screen. Unknown number. A shiver ran down his spine. Who would be calling at this hour? He answered hesitantly. For a moment, all he heard was silence. Then, slow, heavy breathing. And then, a mechanical voice whispered, "They've already done it." The call dropped. Liam sat up in bed, trying to steady his breathing. His mind struggled to rationalize what he had just heard, but before he could process it, a new notification appeared on his phone. An email. No sender. The subject line read only, "Immortality Project. Urgent." His fingers trembled as he opened the attachment. There was only one image. A cold, sterile room, illuminated by white lights. In the center, a human body inside a transparent cylinder. Liam frowned. The skin of the body looked synthetic, but the eyes were open, and they were staring directly at the camera. The caption beneath the image was even worse. "Welcome to the Club of 13. Liam Everett had never been the kind of person to get involved in conspiracy theories. An investigative journalist, awarded for his exposés on corporate corruption, he saw himself as a man of truth. But there were limits. Human cloning, consciousness transfer, secret societies controlling the fate of humanity. That was the stuff of lunatics. Or at least, that's what he had believed. Until that night, the email was still open on his screen. The body inside the cylinder, the open eyes, the terrifying caption. "Welcome to the Club of 13. He tried to trace the sender, but the address simply didn't exist. Something in his gut told him to ignore it. Close the computer. Pretend he had never seen anything. But Liam knew this wasn't a mistake. Whoever had sent that message wanted him to see it. That was when the second notification appeared. This time, a video. No title, no sender. Liam pressed play. The image was grainy, as if filmed with an old security camera. He saw a man in a suit sitting in a chair. His face wasn't visible, only his hands resting on a glass table. A distorted voice began to speak. "If you're seeing this, it means it's already too late." Liam felt a chill run down his spine. The voice continued. "They are no longer human." The video cut to another scene. A laboratory, identical to the one in the email photo. But this time, the cylinder was empty. The floor, however, was covered in blood. The image turned static. Then, a final frame. A message flashing in red letters. "Run now!" Liam pushed back in his chair, his heart pounding. He didn't want to get involved, but now, he had no choice. Liam ran his hands over his face, trying to contain the whirlwind of thoughts. Everything inside him screamed to shut the laptop and forget this. But the truth? He was already in too deep. He grabbed his phone and typed the name of the closest thing he had to a reliable source. Dr. Alan Whitaker, a former bioengineer at Genix Corp who had vanished 3 years ago, right after exposing unethical research within the company. Liam didn't expect him to answer, but he did. The voice on the other end was deep but alert. "Where did you see this?" Liam hesitated. "So you already know what it is?" The silence lasted longer than it should have. Then, Alan whispered, "Have they started the tests?" Liam looked at the photo in the email. The body in the cylinder. Those open eyes. "I think so." Alan let out a shaky breath. "My God, they did it." Liam felt his stomach sink. "Did what?" The ex-scientist took a few seconds to respond, as if deciding whether to say it or not. "The Club of 13 doesn't just want to live forever, Liam. They want to do something much worse." Liam gripped the phone tightly. "What?" Alan's voice came out low, almost a whisper. "They want to rewrite their own existence." Liam didn't understand. "You mean cloning?" Alan let out a dry laugh. "Cloning is child's play compared to what they're doing. Do you really think these billionaires would settle for simply copying their bodies? They want to keep being themselves." Liam fell silent, and then it all made sense. It wasn't just cloning. It was consciousness transfer. Alan continued. "I saw the early experiments. Human minds being extracted and uploaded. First into servers, then into lab-grown bodies. But there was always a problem." Liam swallowed hard. "What problem?" Alan hesitated. "When a human dies, what happens to their consciousness?" Liam didn't answer, because the answer terrified him. Alan went on. "They found out that something comes to collect. Something that doesn't want to be replaced." A chill ran down Liam's spine. "What are you saying?" Alan sighed. "Some bodies came back empty. Others came back with something inside." The call dropped. Liam stared at his phone. The call hadn't failed. It had been ended. By whom? His laptop screen flickered. New message. No sender. Just 3 words. He said too much. Liam felt his chest tighten. The phone was still in his hand, but Alan was no longer on the other end of the line. He tried calling back. No signal. He tried tracing the email. No sender. No origin. As if it had never existed. Something inside him whispered that Alan was dead. The clock read 3:42 a.m. Outside, the city slept, indifferent to the fact that something far greater was unfolding in the shadows. Then, the doorbell rang. Liam froze. No message. No call. Just the sharp, piercing sound of the doorbell echoing through his dark apartment. The same feeling from before returned. Someone was watching him. Slowly, he stood up, trying to steady his breathing. The doorbell rang again. He grabbed a kitchen knife, took a deep breath, and peeked through the peephole. The hallway was empty. A shiver ran down his spine. Carefully, he unlocked the door and cracked it open just a little. Silence. Absolute silence. Then, he saw it. Right on the floor in front of his door lay a black envelope. Liam glanced around. Nothing. No movement in the hallway. He picked up the envelope, shut the door quickly, and tore open the seal. Inside, only a single folded sheet of paper. When he unfolded it, his blood ran cold. A photo of him, asleep in his bed. The caption in the bottom corner read, "You have until dawn." Liam let the photo slip from his fingers. He wasn't safe here. He never had been. Liam didn't think twice. He shoved his laptop into his backpack, grabbed his wallet and phone, and left the apartment before it was too late. He knew exactly what this meant. They were close. Descending the stairs silently, he felt every heartbeat pounding in his skull. When he reached the building's exit, he peered through the glass door. The street was nearly empty. Just a few parked cars, a couple walking on the opposite sidewalk. But then he saw it. A black SUV was parked at the corner, engine running. The windows were tinted. That car didn't belong to anyone in the building, and it hadn't been there when he arrived. Liam stepped back. They already knew he would run. He pulled out his phone and typed the only message that made sense in that moment. "I need a safe place. Now." The recipient? A former FBI contact who owed him a favor. Time crawled as he waited for a reply. Every second felt like an eternity. Then, his phone vibrated. "Hotel Marlowe, room 607. Don't be followed." Liam took a deep breath and scanned his surroundings. The only way out without being seen was through the subway. He turned and sprinted toward the underground entrance. The tunnel smelled of rust and damp concrete. The distant rumble of trains created an oppressive atmosphere. He bought a ticket and stepped into the first car. The subway was nearly empty. A few passengers dozed off on the benches. Others stared at their phone screens, oblivious to the world around them. But Liam noticed a man, sitting at the far end of the car, wearing a gray coat. He wasn't looking at his phone. He was looking directly at Liam. Liam averted his gaze, forcing himself to stay calm. It could be a coincidence. But as the train entered the tunnel and the lights flickered, the man stood up. Liam felt a chill crawl up his spine. The man in the gray coat began walking slowly through the subway car, passing each seat, like a predator stalking its prey. Liam kept his head down, pretending to scroll through his phone. The train was still moving. If he wanted to escape, he had to wait for the next station. But then, the man stopped. Right in front of him. Liam didn't look up, but he felt the presence. The man just stood there, motionless, waiting. The train swayed slightly, and that's when Liam noticed something terrifying. The man wasn't breathing. There was no sound, no exhale, no movement in his chest, as if he wasn't human. The tension in the car became unbearable. Liam had to get out. As the station finally approached, he sprang to his feet and shoved the man aside. Then, he ran. He jumped onto the platform just as the doors slid shut. The subway pulled away, taking the strange man with it. Liam tried to steady his breathing, but then, something even worse happened. His phone vibrated. A new message. No sender. Just 3 words. "You won't escape." Fear gripped him. They already knew where he was going. But then, another phone rang. Not his. The payphone on the platform. Liam glanced around. No one. The phone kept ringing. Something inside him screamed not to answer. But he did. A burst of static filled the line. Then, a whisper. "They aren't human anymore, Liam. Run while you still can." The call cut off. Liam stood frozen. Because now, he had a far bigger question. What exactly was he fighting against? Liam ran. No thinking, No hesitation. He just bolted up the subway stairs and burst onto the dark streets of the city. The Hotel Marlowe was 3 blocks away. If he could make it there, he might stand a chance. He blended into the few pedestrians still wandering the streets, trying to look casual. But his gut told him it was already too late. And then he saw her, Diana, the only person he trusted, his editor, his friend, his partner in countless dangerous investigations. She stood at the corner, looking right at him. "Liam!" She ran toward him, out of breath. "I went to your place. What the hell is going on?" Liam wanted to believe this was a stroke of luck, but it wasn't. He glanced around. The black SUV was back, parked at the opposite corner, engine running. Diana saw the look in his eyes and grabbed his arm. "Liam, look at me. What's happening?" He took a step back. Something was wrong. "How did you find me?" She hesitated, just for a second. Too subtle for the average person to notice. But Liam noticed. I went to your apartment and..." She averted her eyes, just for a moment. It was enough. Liam clenched his jaw. "You led them here." Diana's face went pale. "What? No! Liam, this is crazy! I just want to help!" And then he saw it. In the reflection of a parked car, her hand, in her pocket, holding something, a syringe. Shock hit him like lightning. My God! Diana closed her eyes for a second, as if she hated what she had to do. "I'm sorry, Liam." She lunged, but he was ready. Liam dodged at the last second, shoving her hard against the wall. The syringe clattered to the ground. Her eyes filled with regret. "They gave me a choice. I couldn't say no." Liam felt bile rise in his throat. "You sold me out." Tears ran down her face. "They've already won, Liam. You can't run, you can't fight." The black SUVs began creeping forward. He couldn't trust anyone anymore. Liam looked at Diana one last time. "Then I run alone." And he vanished into the darkness. Liam's world was falling apart. He ran aimlessly, weaving through alleys and narrow streets, trying to disappear into the chaos of the city. But the truth was brutal. They were already in control. Every security camera, every bank transaction, every connected device, all working for them. The Club of 13 had won long ago. Liam turned another corner and stopped to catch his breath. He scanned his surroundings. No sign of the SUVs. But then, something strange happened. The streetlights flickered, and for a second, the world around him seemed to freeze. He blinked. The couple walking down the sidewalk, motionless. The car waiting at the red light, silent. The wind, gone. It was as if time itself had paused. Then, a voice spoke behind him. "Liam." Slowly he turned. There, standing in the middle of the empty street, was himself. Not a look-alike, not a long-lost twin. A perfect copy. Every feature, every scar, every breath. But the eyes were empty. The other Liam took a step forward, his expression calm. "It's over." Liam felt panic tighten in his chest. What are you?" The other one smiled. "I'm the upgraded version." Liam took a step back. "This isn't possible." The copy tilted its head as if studying him. "It's happened before. You're not the first, and you won't be the last." Reality was collapsing around him. Liam remembered Alan's words. They don't just want to live forever. They want to rewrite their own existence. And now, he saw it with his own eyes. The Club of 13 didn't just want new bodies. They were replacing their mortal selves with perfect copies. And now, it was his turn. The other Liam gave a small, knowing smile. "You did what you had to do. You found the truth. But your part ends here." The streetlights flickered again. Time seemed to resume. Liam tried to run, but he couldn't. His body wouldn't move. The other Liam just watched him. "I am you now." Darkness swallowed him. And then, Liam Everett ceased to exist. The next morning, Liam appeared, calm, collected, as if nothing had ever happened. He went back to work, archived his investigations, never mentioned the Club of 13 again. It was as if none of it had ever been real. But something was different. His eyes, empty, precise. A machine disguised as a man. And no one noticed, because that was always the plan. You've made it this far. You've seen the pieces fall into place. But now, you need to ask yourself, what if this is already happening? Billionaires control governments. Corporations control technology. And who controls your mind? The Club of 13 doesn't want to be remembered by history. They want to be history. Consciousness transfer, synthetic cloning, silent replacement. Liam Everett disappeared, but the world never knew, because a new Liam took his place. And what if it's already happened to someone you know? What if it's already happened to you, and you never even noticed? The truth is never erased. It's rewritten. Now only one question remains. Are you still you?